This is one of the biggest shifts that will make sales feel truly easy for you. Hello and welcome to Full Body Yes Sales, the podcast where we show you how to make more sales than ever in your online business in a way that feels authentic, empowering, and feels completely aligned with how you want to do business. Let's dive into today's episode. Hello and welcome back to the Full Body Yes Sales podcast. Today we are talking about the idea of a soft sell and what does this actually look like? What does this mean? And how can you apply this to your business to make sales just feel so much simpler, so much easier, and actually work with human psychology instead of feeling like we're trying to push and feeling like we're trying to move against what people are wanting. Now, this is a super fun episode because we're going to be diving into sales psychology a little bit and how you can really work with that and use that to your advantage and just understand that a little bit more when it comes to your ideal clients, particularly if you are a woman and if you sell to women as well. This is such an important thing to consider in the sales process because this is how we naturally buy. This is how we naturally want to be sold to. So actually learning this and just taking this into account a little bit with your sales process can be such a game changer. So what actually is soft selling? I think before we define what soft selling is, we need to look at the opposite, which is what we will typically see a lot in the online space, which is very hard selling. And that is very much focused on urgency, on pressure, on you need to buy right now, and often can lead people to feel a little bit of remorse after making a purchasing decision that we realize we didn't really need that course or maybe we didn't need to sign up for that program. But this is very much focused on the hard tactics essentially, hence why hard selling there. But this is really a lot of what we'll see when we talk about, bro marketing and when we see a lot of things online of, this sale is expiring in 2 hours, the price is going up, etc. And it's not saying they're bad at all. They are good. They really work, especially when they're intentional and, the price is actually going up. Doors do need to close. The spots are filled because we can only have 10 people inside this mastermind. When it's used really authentically, it does actually work really well. The problem, I think, is when this is used just too much, when this is the thing that you're relying on to sell your offers, and when we're only leaning into hard selling, then it can start to feel very much like that kind of bro marketing, essentially. It can feel very much like we're being just very hard pushed and sold to when we're just relying on this. So we're not saying don't use any of those things, don't use urgency, don't use any, countdowns and filled spots and all those things, because especially if that is the case where the price is rising or the doors are closing because the program is physically starting, so we can't just let you in halfway, then they are really authentic and they're actually things which are really useful to still have. However, we also want to look at the soft selling as well. And this is where sales becomes really simple and becomes really easy and feels really natural, because this complemented with some of those hard sales things like urgency, spots are being filled, that is where sales becomes so beautiful and just feels really easy because people are just naturally moved along towards the process of actually buying from us instead of feeling like they're being pushed there. Now, because Google can describe this way better than I possibly can, I'm going to read you the Google definition for this. So soft selling is really focused on building relationships and offering value. It really focuses on making clients feel respected. It leverages human psychology, and it really allows you to reduce resistance by allowing clients to come to their own conclusions without feeling pushed. So essentially with this, we're not pulling people towards the decision of buying. We're essentially just using things that are going to help them come to their own conclusion, help them decide they want to jump in. So it feels firstly so much more like a full body yes for them actually making the decision to sign up for your program and to join you as a client. And also it is really focused on building in-depth relationships. It's really focused on the connection side. It's really focused on actually what is going to provide this person with value and making them feel just truly supported versus just feeling like a number inside a program, feeling like they just need to jump into this program and buy something from you. Now, one reason why I wanted to do an episode even on this in the first place is I think this is so important, and this has been a major just credit, I would say, in my own business to why I have such long-term clients. There's, for example, one one-to-one client I have right now who we've been working together for almost 2.5 years, continuously, not a single break in one-to-one for that whole time. Another client, she's just re-signed and we've already been working together for over a year. So I have a lot of long-term clients in my business, especially in one-to-one. And I think this really comes down to a lot of this kind of soft selling and actually focusing on that versus hard selling, especially for one-to-one containers where you're going to be working more closely with people. I think it's so important to obviously build that relationship, but to sell from that place as well, not sell from a, hard selling, pushy, urgency kind of place, but actually instead of finding the most supportive fit, of offering that value, of really building that relationship up and allowing the client to make it feel like a full body yes, essentially, when they're jumping into my program and then they're starting to work with me. And the reason why this is so helpful is if a client feels really good about their purchasing decision, you can probably think of, some courses you've bought, for example, where you've just felt really, really good about that decision. It's felt like a full body yes. It's felt just wholly good. You've been just really excited and just very authentically excited about this, essentially. Those are the type of people that you're going to be working with forever. You're going to be a long-term client of them. You're going to be a lifetime client of theirs. You're going to buy everything that they're putting out because you just really have that connection and relationship versus an offer that you decided to jump into because it was ending in 2 hours and you were getting a bit of FOMO versus an offer that, you felt like you needed because they were really selling you this idea of, you're not going to be successful without this, or you really need this. And, you were almost buying out of scarcity and out of fear, essentially. Those are such big differences in terms of whether you decide to actually stick around as a client with that person, just how you feel around that sale, how you felt as the potential client when you were actually going through that sales process with that person. And this is where it can make such a difference actually adding some of these soft selling aspects in and actually thinking about how can I consider that a little bit more versus just relying on people will buy because I put a countdown up, or people will buy because I said there's 2 spaces left. What if instead we leaned, 60%, 80% into the soft selling side and actually really focused on building that relationship, offering value, seeing how we can really connect with that person and just create a really supportive sales environment for them. And also they're going to have just a great relationship with you, which means they're probably going to refer you to people when people are asking, hey, do you have any recommendations for insert what you do here? Do you have any recommendations? Yeah, I know this person. She's really great. You should hire her. It's so much better actually leaning into some of these aspects because they actually make you money in the long term in your business by having more consistent clients, getting those referrals, getting more people talking about your offers because they're really excited to be in them because it felt like a full body yes jumping in, having more lifetime clients. These are literally things that tangibly make you more money and actually help to grow your business and actually scale your business really, really simply. So this isn't just saying introduce soft selling because it feels good and because it's a nice little fun thing to have and it's just a fun thing in the sales process. It's actually saying, it will help you make more money as well. It will actually help you tangibly grow your business. So it's a really good thing to actually be considering from that perspective as well. So let's jump into what this actually looks like and how you can actually introduce soft selling in your business a little bit more and some really tangible things that you can start doing today to actually bring this in a little bit more. The first thing I want you to do to start introducing soft selling a little bit more into your business is ask 3 times more questions. When you are having a conversation with a potential client, it's really easy for us to actually focus on our pitch, on us saying to them, yeah, you should work with me because of this, or we'll do this, or I'll help you with this, or, I can do this for you. It's really easy for us to really focus on that pitch side. But actually instead, if we flip that script and we are so focused on the other person, essentially on understanding, okay, why is it you're stuck? What have you tried already around here? Why do you feel like now you're really looking for support around this? And actually asking them even more questions. That is such a powerful way to really build that relationship and to really make it an authentic yes for them. Because as well, the more information that we can find out about that person, our pitch doesn't sound cold. It doesn't sound generic. It's not just saying, yeah, I can help you grow your business. Come and join my program. It's actually saying, yeah, I know you said you're really struggling with this thing. And I had a similar client who was struggling with that exact thing. And I know you're finding it hard because of X, Y, and Z. And that's something we actually have a module for in the program, etc. You can see where this is going. It just makes it so much more authentic when you are actually pitching to that person, when you are actually sharing why should they work with you? Why should they care about this? Why should they even consider you versus someone else? This is where you can have just so much connection in that moment and really build a just in-depth relationship and show that you actually care as well, because you've taken a second to actually ask more than just the surface level questions of, what is your, for example, as a business coach, if you would say, what is your income goal? Okay, what is your income right now? Okay, great. You sound like a brilliant fit for my program. If you were to actually go a little bit more in depth than that, you can really show them just that extra level of support, that extra level of care, which makes it feel so much more like a full body yes for your potential client as well. And by asking more questions as well, you make the offers that you are pitching and presenting to them feel like custom offers essentially. Even if you don't do custom offers in your business, right? You can really shape the language you're using around this, shape their experience of what the program would be for them around the language that they're using. If they're struggling with, for example, if you cover mindset and strategy in your program, but they're really struggling on the mindset side, then okay, here's how you can get some extra support on the mindset side. You can bring these to the questions to the calls, and you can focus on these modules, and there's extra resources here for you, etc. But you're really not trying to fit them into a box of, okay, I'm just going to fit you into the closest fit program, essentially. It can really be a case of saying, okay, this program would be really great for you because of this. And then maybe I would suggest adding on a call as well, because then we can dive into what you discussed here. But essentially, it just makes it able to just not fit them into a box and able to really create what feels like a really custom offer for them, because you're presenting it in a custom way, because you know enough about them, you know exactly what they're looking for, you know exactly what they're struggling with, you know why they're struggling with this, you know how they're struggling with this certain thing, and you can really just present them essentially an offer which feels like a no-brainer. It feels like a full body yes. It feels like a complete perfect fit for them. So it's an obvious yes. Why would they possibly say no to something which is exactly what they're looking for right now? So the more questions you can ask, the more you can actually uncover this, and the more yeses you can get from your sales conversations, the more clients you can actually sign from that. And also the clients that you do sign, it's going to feel like so much more of a better fit for them, and they're going to be so much more excited about this because it feels like the perfect program that they have been searching for. The second thing that you can do to really introduce some more soft selling into your business is to really start with offering value. And I know a lot of people already do this to an extent. They'll have, an Instagram page where they're posting a few times a week. They'll have a YouTube channel, maybe they'll put out a freebie, whatever that is. But actually, I think it's really helpful looking at this of how can I offer more value? Not saying again that we have to offer, hours and hours and hours of value before someone will sign up with us. That is absolutely not true at all. People will, watch one 5-minute video and decide you are the person they've been looking for and decide to work with you. But the more value you can put out there, the more you're essentially putting your money where your mouth is, the more you're proving your expertise, the more you're proving how good you are at what you do. And especially, I would say, a format like this, like what you are watching right now, YouTube videos, something on video, whether it's going live on Instagram, whatever it is, I think is so powerful, because not only does it offer that credibility of actually proving your expertise of, if I have a sales podcast and I'm coming on here, you can very quickly decide if I actually know anything about sales or not, right? You could decide everything I'm saying is just complete BS in the first 5 minutes and decide to never listen again. Or you can see, wow, she does actually know some things about sales. These were really helpful. I implemented that tip and I signed a client because of that. Okay, she clearly knows things about sales then, and it's proving my expertise essentially, but also it's really building a relationship, right? Because it feels like we're sitting down for coffee. Although I can't see you right now, it feels like we're sitting down for coffee and we're having a little latte chat, So it's really nice for actually building that relationship as well, especially if it's a video medium. So I think it's really helpful considering just where can I offer some more value for my audience? Where can I provide just some more pieces where they can really see my expertise? If you're good at what you do, show people. It's really easy to do that. If you're a website designer, create some mock-ups and show people what do the websites that you design actually look like. Show them how amazing your work actually is, instead of us trying to, convince people with the sales page or trying to say people, yeah, I'm really good at this. I'll get you really amazing results. I promise. Show them. You can literally demonstrate these things. I literally, out of this podcast now, I think I've probably hours. Yeah, I have hours of content on this podcast alone, let alone the regular YouTube videos I was doing before that. So you can literally watch me talk for 10 hours if you're wanting to and decide, am I an expert or not? Decide actually, do I know anything about sales? Would this actually be helpful, me learning from this person? It's really easy for you to decide that because I have this content and I have this value that I have put out ahead of time completely for free for you to just see if I'm good or not, for me to prove my worth essentially. And a third way that you can introduce soft selling into your business is actually through showing people your expertise on a one-to-one conversation. So not just by, putting out Instagram posts, putting out YouTube videos, but when you're having a sales conversation, actually give people some insights, give people some advice essentially. Now, disclaimer, this is not saying turn it into a free coaching session. This is not saying you need a half an hour coaching session, but essentially if, for example, you're talking with a potential client on a sales call and they're saying about, yeah, I've really been struggling. I'm not, if you're a business coach, for example, I'll use that because it's me. If, for example, they are saying about, yeah, I'm really struggling with my marketing. I'm not getting any ideal clients booking calls. I keep getting the wrong people coming in. I'm really stuck. I'm not sure, what I can do here. Instead of just saying, that's interesting, and then asking another question, actually saying, yeah, actually, you know what? I've taken a look through your profile and I feel like it's really your messaging which needs to be shifted, because your messaging, it makes sense that you're attracting these certain people because you're using this language. And in, your recent post, for example, you mentioned about this. And actually, I think if we shifted the language a little bit, that would make a lot of sense in terms of who we're attracting. And we're going to just attract that different type of ideal client which you're looking for. Now, this can be so helpful because that's literally, 30 seconds, 60 seconds of advice that you're giving right there. But actually, it's not just showing your expertise in terms of, yeah, I'm good at sales, because you can see from those YouTube videos that I put out, for example, but actually you've also heard me give advice to you specifically. So you've kind of got a taster of, what I would say for you. Again, if you're something like a website designer, it's more tangible like that, not a coach, then actually saying, okay, here's the vision that I would see for your website. Here are a couple shifts I would make from your current design that I think will be really beneficial for you because of your specific niche and your specific ideal client. This will add this value because of this, those types of pieces, and actually sharing almost some specific advice to that exact person can be so valuable, because it straight away can be a light bulb moment in their mind, essentially, of, wow, that was really valuable. I've never thought to look at it that way before, or I didn't think to include this. And it's really showcasing your expertise just 10 times, essentially, because if we're hearing general information, of course, that's really good in our minds. And we're saying, yeah, okay, nice. They seem like an expert. They seem someone trustworthy. They seem like someone I might want to work with. But actually, if we can take that one layer further even and actually get them to the place of saying, wow, for my exact business, they offered me a piece of advice, and in 60 seconds, that was exactly what I need to hear. And that was just perfect, and I need to hire this person, essentially. It is just so much more powerful hearing it in that context. So actually slipping in a few of those nuggets, and not saying it has to, again, turn into a free coaching session and you have to give 30 minutes of advice, but just where you notice the opportunity and where your brain will naturally think, yeah, actually, I'd do this differently, or here's what I would do with you, or here's one thing that I would straight away start with you. Actually sharing those can really get them into the headspace of what it's like to work with you, and also showcase your expertise just to a whole nother level there. And this has been so powerful for me in particular with my one-to-one program, because I can think of several clients right off the top of my head. I had one client in the start of this year who we started working together, and we literally had met each other in a Facebook group, just stumbled across each other there, and I shared a few minutes of voice message advice to a question they were asking in there. And that was such a light bulb moment for them, just literally the 2-3 minutes of voice messages. And they said, oh my gosh, that is literally perfect. That's exactly what I need. And then actually inquired about working with me and said, do you offer coaching packages? Like, how can I work with you? Can we get on a call to talk about that? And signed on straight away for my 6-month one-to-one coaching package. Another client a couple of years ago, I said one thing and she was like, that is the most helpful thing I've heard any coach say to me. Of all the coaches I've worked with, and I'm not even working with you right now, so how can I work with you, essentially? And this is just so powerful, because again, this just really allows you to connect with people on another level and just show people how valuable working with you can be for them specifically and for their exact business, and just leave them walking away with some value already. They already feel like they've got something. So it just feels overall really good as they're going through that sales conversation with you. There you have it. Those are some ways that you can bring some more soft selling into your business. Again, those hard selling pieces of urgency, limited spaces, they're really amazing. Definitely keep some of those, but also just add in some of these soft selling, because it can be such a powerful way to actually sign clients in a way that feels really natural and feels like a full body yes for not just you, but the potential client as well. And they're left feeling really good about their purchasing decision. They're left also feeling really good about continuing working with you, feel like they found their person. So it's just really powerful overall to just introduce some of these. And again, they're so easy, as you can see from the 3 examples I shared today of how you can actually do this, to actually start implementing some of those. So pick one and start implementing it today. And please let me know how it goes as well. I hope this video has been helpful for you. If you found this super helpful, make sure you give this video a like and make sure you subscribe so you do not miss the next episode. We're posting new episodes of the Full Body Sales podcast every single Monday. So on that note, I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.